The large window showed Earth from space. It was a blue and green ball with white clouds. Captain Tay looked at his home planet and took a deep breath. Today was the big day. After years of work, humans would meet aliens for the first time. "Is everything ready?" he asked, turning to his team. Commander June nodded. She checked her tablet one more time. "Yes, Captain. The meeting room is set up. The translators are working. The food is ready." "Good," said Tay. He was not just nervous. He was scared. This meeting would change human history forever. If it went well, Earth would join the stars. If it went badly, who knew what might happen? The space station they stood in was Earth's best. It hung in orbit around the planet. Built just 5 years ago, it was meant to be a place where humans could meet aliens safely, away from Earth but close enough to feel at home. "They're coming," said June, looking at her screen. "The Darai ship is asking to dock." Tay nodded and fixed his blue uniform. The Earth Diplomatic Corps had picked him for this job because he was calm and smart. He had studied alien messages for years. But now that the moment was here, his hands shook a little. "Let them dock," he said. Through the side window they watched the alien ship come closer. It was huge and shaped like a silver leaf. It moved without any fire or light coming out the back. It was clearly built with technology, far beyond what humans had. "They must think we're so primitive," whispered Kim, one of the younger team members. "Maybe," said Tay. "But remember, they contacted us. They want to talk. That means they see something in us worth knowing." The station shook slightly as the alien ship connected to their dock. Red lights changed to green, showing the air seal was good. Tay and his team of 5 stood in a line facing the large metal door that would soon open. Minutes passed. Tay wondered if the aliens were as nervous as he was. Finally, with a hiss of air, the door slid open. Standing on the other side were the Darai. Ty had seen pictures from the video messages, but seeing them in person was different. They were tall and thin with light blue skin that seemed to glow softly. Each had 4 eyes, 2 large ones in the normal place, and 2 smaller ones higher on their foreheads. They wore simple white clothes that looked like robes. 5 of them entered the room. The one in front wore a gold band around its head. This was Ambassador Han, the leader of their group. Tay took 1 step forward and bowed his head slightly, as they had practiced. "On behalf of Earth and all humans, I welcome you to our solar system. I am Captain Tay." The alien ambassador made a movement with his long, thin fingers. The translator on Ty's wrist buzzed, then spoke in a flat computer voice. "We thank you for your welcome. I am Han, speaker for the Galactic Federation Council." So far, so good, thought Tay. The months of work on the translation program seemed to be working. The aliens had sent language data ahead of their arrival, and Earth's best computers had worked day and night to make sense of it. Tay smiled and gestured to the hallway behind him. "Please, follow me to our meeting room. We have prepared refreshments and a place to talk." The aliens followed, looking all around the station with their 4 eyes. Tay noticed they seemed tense. Their movements were stiff and they stayed close together, not what he expected from a species that could travel between stars. In the meeting room, Tay's team had set out foods and drinks they hoped would be safe for the aliens. The room had a large round table with screens built into it. The walls showed moving pictures of Earth, oceans, mountains, cities, and animals. Ambassador Han stopped suddenly, pointing at one of the screens. It showed the Nile River in Africa, where a crocodile lay half in the water, very still. "What is that creature?" The translator buzzed with Han's question. "That is a crocodile," answered Tay. "A reptile that lives in our rivers and lakes." The 5 aliens looked at each other. They made quick sounds that the translator did not catch. Han turned back to Tay. "This creature, it hunts by staying still?" Tay nodded. "Yes, they are ambush predators. They wait for animals to come to the water to drink, then they attack very quickly." "How long can they wait?" asked Han. This seemed like a strange first question at such an important meeting, but Tay answered, "They can stay in one spot for days or weeks. Some have been known to wait in the same hunting spot for up to 2 years." All 4 of Han's eyes widened at once. The other aliens stepped back slightly. Your planet harbors predators that can remain motionless for years waiting for prey. The translator couldn't capture emotion well, but Tay thought Han sounded shocked. Yes, said Tay, confused by their reaction. They're just reptiles, not even close to the most dangerous animals on Earth. The aliens made more quick sounds to each other. They seemed upset. Is something wrong? Asked June, stepping forward. Ambassador Han's fingers twitched rapidly. You share a planet with such beings. Willingly. Tay looked at June, then back at the aliens. Well, yes, they lived on Earth long before humans did. We've learned to stay away from them. They mostly live in places where not many humans go. And there are more dangerous creatures than these. Crocodiles? Asked another alien behind Han. In some ways, yes, said Tay. We have large cats like lions and tigers that actively hunt. We have poisonous snakes and spiders. We have sharks in our oceans. With each word, the alien seemed more disturbed. Their blue skin had turned a lighter shade. But humans control most of Earth now. Tay added quickly. These animals stay in protected areas or in the wild. Our cities are safe. Han stared at Tay for a long moment. Captain Tay, I must be direct. When we received your signals and learned of your species, we were excited to meet another intelligent race, but we did not fully understand the world that created you. Tay frowned. I don't understand. The Galactic Federation has met many species from many worlds, Han explained, but none have evolved on a planet with predators that can wait motionless for years just to kill. No wonder your kind developed such resilience. Commander June stepped forward. With all respect, Ambassador, we were hoping to discuss cultural exchange and technology sharing, not Earth's wildlife. Han's four eyes blinked in sequence. Yes, of course, but you must understand how a species evolves shapes what they become. You humans grew up on a world where death might be waiting, perfectly still, for years. Just waiting for the right moment. This explains much about your history and behaviors. Tay felt a chill run down his back. This first meeting was not going as planned. What did the aliens see in humans that worried them so much? Perhaps we should start again, said Tay carefully. The crocodiles have their place in our world, but they don't define us. Humans are explorers and builders. We want to learn and grow. Ambassador Han seemed to relax slightly. Yes, we will continue as planned, but the Council will need to be informed about these details of your world. It may affect your classification. Classification? Asked Tay. Every species is classified by the Federation, explained Han. It helps determine how we interact, but we can discuss this later. For now, let us talk about why we have come. Tay nodded, but he could not shake the feeling that something important had just happened, something that would shape humanity's place among the stars. The aliens took their seats at the round table, still glancing at the screens showing Earth's wildlife. First contact was happening, but not in the way anyone had expected. It wasn't humans that had frightened the advanced aliens from the stars. It was the simple, ancient predators that shared their world, the creatures that could wait 2 years, just to kill. 3 weeks had passed since the first meeting with the Durai. Dr. Sue stood in front of her mirror and checked her uniform one last time. As Earth's top expert on animal behavior, she had been asked to join the next phase of talks with the aliens. Today, she would visit their ship. This is really happening, she said to herself. Her hand smoothed down the front of her gray science uniform. Like many people, she had dreamed of aliens as a child. Now she would actually go inside their spaceship. A knock came at her door. It was Captain Tay. Ready, Dr. Sue? He asked with a small smile. The shuttle leaves in 20 minutes. Sue nodded and picked up her tablet. On it, she had loaded all the information she could find about Earth's animals. After the strange first meeting, Earth's leaders had decided to send a wildlife expert to answer the aliens' questions. I still don't understand why they care so much about crocodiles, she said as they walked down the hallway of the space station. Neither do I, admitted Tay. But Ambassador Han has asked for you by name. Your work on predator behavior caught their attention. They reached the shuttle bay where a small ship waited to take them to the much larger Darai vessel. Through the window, Sue could see the alien ship. It was huge, at least 10 times bigger than Earth's space station. Its silver surface gleamed in the sunlight. The shuttle ride was short and smooth. When they docked with the alien ship, Sue felt her heart beat faster. The door opened, and they were greeted by 2 Darai. "Welcome," said one of them. The translator, on Sue's wrist, turned the alien sounds into words she could understand. "I am scientist Mina. Ambassador Han is waiting for you in our research center." The inside of the alien ship was not what Sue expected. Instead of cold metal, the walls looked like they were made of something like coral. The light was soft and blue. The air smelled fresh, like a forest after rain. "Your ship is beautiful," said Sue. "Thank you," replied Mina. "It is grown, not built. It is alive in many ways." They walked through curved hallways until they reached a large round room. In the center was a table with a glowing display above it. Ambassador Han stood there, along with several other Darai. "Captain Tai, Dr. Sue." Han greeted them. "Thank you for coming. We have many questions about your world." "I'm happy to answer them," said Sue. "But I must say, we have many questions about yours as well." Han made a gesture that Sue thought might be a smile. "Of course, we will share knowledge. But first we must understand Earth better, especially its predators." The glowing display changed to show images of different animals from across the galaxy. Sue saw creatures she could never have imagined, some with too many eyes, others with strange limbs or no limbs at all. "The Galactic Federation classifies all sentient species on a spectrum," explained Mina, moving her long fingers through the display. "We look at many factors, but one important one is the predatory environment of your home world." The display changed again, showing different hunting styles. "Type A species are immediate action predators," Mina continued. "They see prey, they chase, they catch, they eat, they move on, like your wolves or lions." Sue nodded. "Simple pursuit predators." "Type B are tactical pursuit predators," said Mina. "They track prey over time, using intelligence to predict where prey will go. They may follow for days before catching their target." "Like orcas or hunting dogs," said Sue. This was all basic ecology to her. "Type C are ambush predators," Mina went on. "They hide and wait for prey to come close, then strike quickly. But their waiting time is short, hours or at most days." "Like most big cats," said Sue. "Tigers, jaguars." Mina's 4 eyes looked at Sue. "And what type are humans?" Sue thought about this. "We started as type B, I think. Early humans were persistence hunters. We would chase animals until they got tired. We can sweat to stay cool while running, which many animals can't do." Han and Mina looked at each other. "Yes, our studies show the same. Most intelligent species evolve from type B predators or advanced prey animals." Han pointed to the display. "But then we discovered Earth's crocodiles." The display showed a crocodile lying in water, only its eyes and nose visible. "Type D," said Han. "Strategic patience predators. No other world we know of has produced anything like them. They can wait motionless for 731 rotations of your planet, 2 years, just to secure the optimal moment to kill." Sue looked at the alien with surprise. "They're just efficient hunters. They have slow metabolism, so they don't need to eat often." "They're terrifying," Mina said firmly. "And the fact that humans consider them normal is why the Galactic Security Council has requested a special classification for your species." Captain Tay stepped forward. "What does that mean for Earth?" Han's voice became more serious. "It means we must study humans more carefully before deciding your place in the Federation. You evolved on a world with Type D predators. You might have learned their patience." "But we're not crocodiles," said Sue with a small laugh. "Most humans can barely wait 5 minutes for food to cook. Yet your history shows differently," said Han. The display changed to show human warfare through the ages. "Your armies have laid siege to cities for years. Your hunters have tracked animals for weeks. Your spies have waited decades to strike." Sue wanted to argue, but she saw the point they were making. Humans could be very patient when they needed to be. Come, said Mina. We want to show you our full research. She led them to another room filled with tanks. Inside each tank was a small ecosystem from a different world. Plants and small creatures moved inside them. We have collected samples from over 500 planets, Mina explained. Earth is the only one with Type D predators. The only one we're waiting years to kill is a normal hunting strategy. Sue moved closer to one tank. Inside was a small crocodile watching her with cold eyes. You've been studying our crocodiles? She asked, surprised. Yes, said Han. We must understand what shaped your world, what shaped humans. Tay looked troubled. You make it sound like Earth is some kind of monster planet. Not a monster planet, said Han, but unique, dangerous, in ways we did not expect. The question is, did humans learn the crocodile's patience? If you joined the Federation, would you wait years for the perfect moment to strike against another species? That's not fair, said Sue. You can't judge all humans based on one animal from our world. We must be careful, said Han. The Federation has many species. Some are very different from humans. Some might seem easy prey to a species that evolved alongside Type D predators. Sue looked at the small crocodile in the tank. It hadn't moved at all during their talk, it was just waiting. What happens next? Asked Tay. The Federation Council will meet in 1 month, said Han. They will decide Earth's classification. You are both invited to attend and speak for your species. Sue felt a weight on her shoulders. She had come to learn about aliens, but now she had to defend all of humanity. And if the Council decides we're dangerous? Asked Tay. Han's 4 eyes blinked slowly, one after another. Then Earth will not be permitted to join the Federation. You will be watched from afar, but not allowed to leave your solar system. Sue looked at Tay with worry. Their future among the stars now depended on convincing aliens that humans weren't like the patient killers they shared their planet with. As they left the alien ship later that day, Sue looked back at its silver shape. They're afraid of us, she said quietly. Yes, agreed Tay. Not because of our technology or weapons, but because we might have learned too well from the silent killers of Earth. The ones that can wait 2 years, just to kill. Captain Tay had never seen anything like the Galactic Federation headquarters. It was a massive space station that hung in empty space, far from any star. Its shape reminded him of a giant snowflake, with 6 long arms stretching out from a round center. Each arm was as big as Earth's moon. It's amazing, said Dr. Sue, standing next to him at the window of their small ship. How many species are part of this federation? Over 200, according to Ambassador Han, replied Tay, and we're about to meet representatives from all of them. Their ship moved slowly toward one of the arms of the giant station. After a month of preparation, Earth's team was ready for the classification hearing. Tay, Dr. Sue, and 3 other humans would speak for all of humanity. As they docked with the station, Tay felt both excited and afraid. Today could open the stars to humans, or close them forever. Ambassador Han met them at the dock. The Edrai seemed less nervous around humans now. The Council is ready, said Han. All member species are very interested in Earth. Many have watched videos of your world's animals. They have questions. I bet they do, said Sue with a small smile, especially about the crocodiles. Han led them through wide hallways. The station was full of different aliens. Some walked on many legs, others floated in the air. Some were so strange that Tay couldn't tell which end was the front. They entered a massive round room. In the center was a platform where they would stand. Around the edges, rising up like in a sports arena, were seats filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some were in special tanks or chambers that must have held air they could breathe. The Grand Council chamber, said Han. Representatives from every Federation world are here. A loud sound like a gong filled the room. The aliens grew quiet. An alien floated to the center of the room. It looked like a cloud of purple gas inside a clear bubble. When it spoke, its voice came from speakers around the room. The Council will now hear the case for Earth classification, it said. I am the speaker for this cycle. We will begin with the report from the first contact team. Ambassador Han stepped forward. For the next hour he spoke about Earth. He showed pictures and videos of the planet. He talked about humans and their history. But he spent most of his time talking about Earth's animals, especially the predators. When Han finished, the speaker turned to Earth's team. "Captain Tay, you may address the council." Tay stepped forward. He had practiced his speech many times, but standing here with hundreds of alien eyes watching him, he felt his mouth go dry. "Members of the Galactic Federation," he began. "Earth is honored to be considered for membership. We are a young species, but we are eager to learn and share. We come in peace." A noise came from one side of the room. It sounded like laughter, but not friendly. "Peace?" The speaker was an alien with red skin and sharp teeth. It sat in a hovering chair. "Humans talk of peace while coming from the most violent planet we have discovered? Corps Ambassador, you will wait your turn," said the speaker firmly. The red alien sat back, but its eyes stayed on Tay. Tay continued his speech, talking about human achievements in science, art, and exploration. When he finished, Dr. Su spoke about Earth's ecology and how humans had learned to protect nature. Then came the questions. There were many, and most were about predators. "Is it true that humans keep dangerous predators as pets?" asked one alien. "Some people keep domesticated cats and dogs," answered Su. "They come from predator species but have lived with humans for thousands of years. They're not dangerous." "Yet your dogs still have the teeth of hunters," said another alien. The debate went on for hours. Some aliens seemed friendly and curious. Others were clearly afraid of humans. Finally, the red alien, the Corps Ambassador, rose again. "Enough talk," it said. "Humans are dangerous. They evolved on a planet with Type D predators and consider it normal. Their patience for warfare must be classified as a potential threat." Ambassador Han spoke up. "The Durai believe the situation is more complex. While humans themselves haven't displayed pure Type D predatory behavior, they've been shaped by their environment. Their understanding of patience exceeds anything in our tactical manuals." Dr. Su leaned toward Tay and whispered, "They're afraid we might wait years to strike if provoked. They don't understand that we consider ourselves impatient. As a species," the Corps Ambassador moved forward. Its red skin seemed to glow with anger. "I propose we conduct a test. Place humans in a simulated conflict scenario against our military strategies. If they display Type D patience in warfare, we must restrict their expansion." The chamber filled with the sounds of aliens talking all at once. The speaker called for order. "A test?" asked Tay. "What kind of test?" The Corps Ambassador smiled, showing sharp teeth. "A war game. My species are warriors. We will create a simulation of conflict. Your best military minds against ours. Then we will see if humans fight with the patience of your planet's most terrifying predators." Dr. Su stepped forward. "This isn't fair. Humans are more than just fighters." "If you refuse the test," said the Corps, "we will take that as proof. You have something to hide." The room grew quiet. Tay looked at his team. They had come to talk about peace and knowledge, not to prove themselves in a war game. "We accept the test," said Tay finally. "But on one condition. You must also test our ability to solve problems without fighting. Our diplomacy, our science, our ability to work together." The speaker considered this. "That seems fair. The Council will create 2 tests, one of conflict and one of cooperation. Based on the results, we will decide Earth's classification." The motion was put to a vote. The aliens held up different colored lights to show their choice. Most of the lights were green. The vote passed. "Captain Tay," said the speaker, "you have 1 week to gather your best people for these tests. Choose them well. The future of humanity among the stars depends on it." As they left the chamber, Ambassador Han walked beside them. "I am sorry it came to this," said Han. "But many species fear what they do not understand. And humans, you, are difficult to understand." "We're not like crocodiles," said Su angrily. "We don't wait years to attack." "No," agreed Han. "But you might, and that possibility frightens many here." Tay looked back at the council chamber. The test would be hard, but it was a chance. A chance to show aliens that humans were more than the predators they shared a planet with. 1 week, said Tay. We need to call Earth. We're going to need our best people. Who will you choose? Asked Sutai thought for a moment. Not just soldiers. We need thinkers, problem solvers, people who understand that there's more than one way to win. As their ship prepared to return to Earth, Tay looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, hundreds of alien worlds waited. Worlds humans might never see if they couldn't prove they were worthy of trust. The Corps ambassador had made one big mistake. It thought humans were just patient predators. It didn't understand that humans were something else entirely. Adaptable. And that might be the most dangerous quality of all. Colonel Wook looked at the team around him. The small room on the Federation space station had been given to the humans for their final planning. In just 1 hour, the tests would begin. Remember what we talked about, said Wook to his team. His voice was calm, but inside he felt nervous. He had been chosen to lead the military part of the test. They expect us to act like crocodiles, to set up ambushes and wait. Strategist Jin, a young woman with sharp eyes, nodded. That's their mistake. They think we only know one way to fight. Exactly, said Wook, but that's not how humans wage war. Or make peace. The door opened and Captain Tay walked in with Dr. Su. They had just come from a meeting with the Federation Council. How did it go? Asked Wook. The rules are set, said Tay. 2 tests. The first is the war game against the Corps. The second is a problem-solving test with the Durai. Dr. Su sat down, looking tired. The Corps are still pushing for Earth to be classified as a danger. They've been showing videos of crocodiles to anyone who will watch. Wook smiled a little. Let them. The more they expect us to act like crocodiles, the more surprised they'll be when we don't. The team spent the next hour going over their plans one last time. Then a soft chime sounded and the door opened again. Ambassador Han stood there with 2 Corps aliens. It is time, said Han. They followed the aliens through the space station to a large room filled with strange equipment. In the center were 2 raised platforms with chairs that looked like they belonged in a sci-fi movie. These are simulation chambers, explained Han. They will connect to your minds and create a virtual battlefield. The Corps have designed the scenario. The red-skinned Corps seemed to smile, showing sharp teeth. We are ready when you are, humans. Colonel Wook looked at his team. Jin, you're with me. The rest of you watch and be ready to switch in if needed. Wook and Jin sat in the chairs. Thin metal bands rose up and touched their foreheads. The simulation will last 3 of your Earth days, said Han. But in your minds it will feel like real time. Your bodies will remain here, but your minds will be in the simulation. And the rules? Asked Wook. The Corps answered. Simple. 2 equal forces, 1 goal. Defeat the enemy. All strategies allowed. Remember, whispered Tay to Wook. They expect us to wait and ambush. To be patient like crocodiles. Wook nodded. Then the world around him faded away. He found himself standing on a hill overlooking a wide valley. The sky was purple and 2 small suns hung in it. Around him stood human soldiers with weapons and vehicles. On the far side of the valley he could see the red shapes of the Corps forces. Jin appeared beside him, looking at a map that glowed in the air. This is amazing, she said. It feels completely real. Wook nodded. Let's get started. They'll be expecting us to dig in and wait for them to come to us. So we do the opposite, said Jin with a smile. For the next 3 days, the simulation ran. In the real world, the Federation Council watched on large screens as the human and Corps forces fought across the virtual landscape. The Corps used standard attack formations. They moved forward in groups, expecting the humans to be hiding, waiting to ambush them. But Wook's strategy was different. He split his forces into small teams. Some attacked directly. Others retreated to draw the Corps into traps. Some built defenses but then abandoned them just as the Corps prepared to attack. The human forces were always moving, always changing. On the second day, Jin suggested something new. Let's try to talk to them, she said to Wook. Talk? In the middle of a war game? Wook was surprised. Yes, let's send a message asking for a meeting to discuss terms. Wook thought about it. They probably won't come, or it could be a trap. Exactly, said Jin. Either way, it shows we're not just patient killers, we're problem solvers. They sent the message. The Corps ignored it at first, but when the humans captured a key position, the Corps finally agreed to meet. The meeting was tense. The Corps expected tricks, but Wook offered a deal that would give each side control of different areas. The Corps refused and attacked again. By the third day, the Corps were confused. Their commander, a tall red alien named Dak, could not predict what the humans would do next. Sometimes the humans fought hard. Other times they pulled back. Sometimes they waited in ambush, but never for long. What is your strategy? Dak finally asked during another meeting late on the third day. Adaptation, answered Wook simply. We use whatever works best at the time. As the simulation ended, Wook could see that the human forces had won more ground than they had lost. It wasn't a complete victory, but it was enough. The real world came back suddenly. Wook blinked and looked around the room. The Federation Council, members were talking excitedly. The Corps looked angry. Well done, said Captain Tay, helping Wook stand up. You showed them. What did they think? Asked Wook. They were surprised, said Dr. Su. The Corps expected you to set up defensive positions and wait for them to make mistakes, like a crocodile waits for prey to come close. Instead, you kept changing your tactics, said Tay. The council members were impressed. The second test began right after. This one was about cooperation. The humans had to work with the Durai to solve a complex problem about sharing resources between different worlds. This test was less dramatic than the war game, but just as important. Dr. Su led this part. She listened to the Durai, asked questions, and offered ideas. She didn't try to take control or demand things. Instead, she looked for ways that both sides could win. At the end of the day, both tests were complete. The humans gathered in their room to wait for the council's decision. Do you think we passed? Asked Jin. I don't know, said Wook. The Corps seemed angry that we didn't fight the way they expected. That's because you surprised them, said Dr. Su. They thought they knew how humans would act, based on our planet's predators. The door opened, and Ambassador Han entered. His four eyes looked at each human in turn. The Council has reached a decision, he said. They are ready to announce Earth's classification. They followed Han back to the Grand Council chamber. It was full again, with aliens of all kinds watching. The speaker floated in the center. Humans of Earth, the speaker began. We have observed your performance in our tests. We have seen how you fight and how you cooperate. The room was very quiet. Wook could feel his heart beating fast. The Corps expected you to fight like the patient predators of your world, continued the speaker. To wait in ambush, to be unchanging in your tactics. The Corps ambassador stood up. Instead, they showed something more dangerous. They were unpredictable. They used many different strategies. They even tried to talk during a battle. Yes, said the speaker. And that is why the Council has decided to create a new classification for humans. Tay stepped forward. A new classification, what does that mean? It means, said Ambassador Han, that you are not what we expected. You are not simply Type D predators waiting patiently to kill. You are something we have not seen before. The speaker's voice filled the chamber. Humans will be classified as Type X, adaptable, unpredictable, capable of both patience and quick action, of both conflict and cooperation. The Council erupted in sounds. Some seemed happy, others worried. The speaker called for quiet. Is that good or bad for Earth? Asked Wook quietly. The speaker answered. The classification means Earth will be allowed to join the Federation, but with careful monitoring. You are too interesting, too full of potential to keep isolated. But you are also too unpredictable to trust completely. Not yet. Colonel Wook looked at his team. They had done it. Earth would join the stars. As the humans left the chamber, the Corps ambassador approached them. You fight well, humans. it said grudgingly. Not like crocodiles at all. But perhaps something even more dangerous. Wook smiled. We learned from all of Earth's creatures, not just one. That's what makes us human. 1 year had passed since Earth had been classified as Type X by the Galactic Federation. Admiral Tay, now promoted from captain, stood at the window of his new office on the Federation headquarters. From here, he could see ships from hundreds of worlds coming and going. One of those ships was from Earth, the first human-built vessel capable of traveling between stars. Beautiful, isn't it? Asked a voice behind him. Tay turned to see Ambassador June, who had once been Commander June, his second in command. Now she represented Earth to the Federation. It is, agreed Tay. I never thought I'd see humans traveling to other stars in my lifetime. The Federation technology helped, said June. But our engineers learned quickly. Tay nodded. That was one thing that had surprised the aliens. How fast humans could learn. In just 1 year, with help from Federation scientists, Earth had built its first true starship. The Council is gathering, said June. They want to hear our 1-year report. Together, they walked through the now familiar halls of the station. Many aliens nodded to them as they passed. Some still looked nervous around humans, but others had become friends. The Grand Council chamber was not as full as it had been during Earth's classification hearing, but many representatives were there. The speaker, still a cloud of purple gas, in a clear bubble, floated in the center. Admiral Tay, Ambassador June, said the speaker. The Council welcomes you. Please share Earth's progress as a new member of the Federation. June stepped forward first. She talked about the diplomatic side, how Earth had established relations with 20 alien worlds, how human art and music had been shared, how humans were learning from alien cultures. Then Tay spoke about security matters. Earth had joined the Federation Defense Force. Human soldiers trained alongside aliens. Human ships helped patrol trade routes. When they finished, the speaker opened the floor for questions. Many were friendly, asking about Earth culture or science. But then the Corps ambassador stood. Humans have learned our technology very quickly, said the red-skinned alien. Perhaps too quickly. I fear they may one day use it against us. Admiral Tay was about to respond when another alien rose. It was Dr. Sue, now the head of a new Federation research team studying Earth's unique ecology. I've worked with humans for many years now, she said. Yes, they learn quickly. Yes, they can be dangerous when threatened. But they're not the patient. Killers you fear. The Corps ambassador snorted. They evolved on a world with Type D predators. The crocodile's patience must be in their blood. Dr. Sue smiled. Actually, our research shows something interesting. Humans don't relate to crocodiles. At all. Ask any human child which animal they admire, and they'll say dolphins or wolves or birds. Animals that work together. That's the true nature of humanity. A tall, thin alien with skin like tree bark stood up. I have visited Earth, it said, in a soft voice. I saw these crocodiles. Yes, they are terrifying in their patience, but I also saw how humans treat them. They respect them, but they don't copy them. Humans built their civilization not on patience, but on cooperation. The debate went on for hours. Some aliens still feared humans. Others defended them. Tay listened carefully to all sides. Finally, the ancient speaker arrived. This being was so old that its species had evolved 3 times since its birth. It rarely attended regular meetings, so its presence made everyone quiet. I have watched Earth since its discovery, said the ancient speaker in a voice that seemed to come from very far away. I have studied humans with great interest. The chamber was completely silent now. Even the Corps ambassador looked respectful. After careful consideration, continued the ancient speaker, I believe humanity's Type X classification should remain, but with a new understanding. Type X denotes a species that understands all predatory strategies but is bound by none. Humans can embody the lightning strike of Type A, the relentless pursuit of Type B, the careful ambush of Type C, and, yes, they comprehend the eternal patience of Type D. The ancient speaker moved closer to where Tai and June stood. However, It raised a withered limb for emphasis. They choose when to employ each strategy based on necessity and ethics, not instinct. This makes them unique among all known civilizations. The chamber filled with soft sounds as aliens discussed this. The ancient speaker turned to Tay. "Admiral Tay, would you like to address the council?" Tay stepped forward. He had not prepared a speech, but he knew what needed to be said. "We come from a world of extremes," he said, looking around at the gathered aliens. "A planet where gentle bees build complex societies while crocodiles wait years for a single meal. We learned from all of them. And while we understand the crocodile's patience, we also understand that relationships among stars require something greater: mutual respect and cooperation." He paused, looking at the Corps ambassador. "Yes, humans can be dangerous. We can fight when we must. We can be patient when needed. But those are choices, not our nature. Our true strength is our ability to adapt, to learn, to work together. That is what helped us survive on Earth, and that is what we bring to the stars." When the council session ended, Ambassador Han approached the human delegation. The Darai had become good friends to Earth over the past year. "Your classification grants you unique privileges and responsibilities," said Han. "Many species still fear what humans might become if you ever truly embrace the crocodile's way." Tay smiled. "The universe needn't worry. We've studied our own history enough to know that patience without compassion leads nowhere. The stars have given us a chance to prove we've learned that lesson." Later, as Tay prepared to return to Earth for a visit, Dr. Sue found him in the docking bay. She had been away for months, studying life on other worlds. "Admiral," she greeted him. "I'm glad I caught you before you left." "Dr. Sue," he said with a smile. "How goes your research?" "Fascinating," she said. "But I keep thinking about what started all this. Those crocodiles. The aliens were so afraid of them, and by extension, of us. And now?" asked Tay. "Most are beginning to understand us better," said Sue. "But scientist Mina asked me a question today that I thought you might want to hear." "What was it?" she asked. "Do you think the Federation was right to fear your species?" Tay looked out the window at the stars. "And what did you tell her?" Sue smiled. "I said that fear isn't necessary, but a healthy respect for what humanity might become, for better or worse, is probably wise. After all, we learned patience from crocodiles, but wisdom from our mistakes." Tay nodded. As he boarded the Earthship, he thought about the strange journey that had brought humans to the stars. It had started with aliens being horrified by Earth's patient predators, but it had led to something unexpected: a new understanding of humanity's place in the universe. The ship's engines hummed to life. Through the window, Tay could see the vast Federation station growing smaller as they pulled away. Among the countless stars beyond, new worlds waited, new species to meet, new lessons to learn. Humans had finally joined the galactic community, not as crocodiles in disguise waiting to strike, but as something new, something that even the ancient civilizations of the stars had never seen before, a species that could learn from patience without being ruled by it, a species that could adapt, change, and grow, a species ready to find its true place among the stars. The end.